Well, ladies and gentlemen, look what's back in the headline. It's good old Blade. After Blade was finally admitted to now be moving forward in filming and has finally landed on somewhat of a script after what, like 6 or 7 iterations of a script. Now we're finally moving forward, but apparently the old school rumor is back, ladies and gentlemen. So apparently now there is more leaked plot details of MCU's Blade. And now it seems like the daughter of Blade is going to be, in fact, the lead of the movie. This has been a rumor that's been around for ages, guys. Ever since Blade was initially announced, this rumor has been around. The fact that I keep hearing about it through multiple different writers tells me that this is going to be the central point of the story. Whether it actually comes out fully like this one way or another is totally different, but it is going to be a central factor. They have mentioned this woman many different times. I think there's only one script that they came out with that didn't actually mention passing the mantle off to Blade's daughter, but every other script has in fact mentioned that particular passing of the mantle. So that leads me to believe that they want to inject this somehow, some way. They're just trying to figure out how to do it without pissing off a bunch of people. So let's get into this article, guys, from Phantom Pulse. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing to my manga channel. The links are in the description box below in my link tree. I would love to see you there. We're almost at 400 subs, so help me get there. Marvel Studios' Blade reboot, led by Mahershala Ali and directed by Yan Dimanji, has faced extensive delays since its announcement at SDCC 2019. Guys, this movie was announced in 2019. We are in 2024, 5 years later, and they just started filming. It's crazy. Despite initial excitement, the project has languished amidst global upheaval, including the fake pandemic and Hollywood work stoppages. However, after numerous setbacks, production appears poised to commence in late 2024, offering a glimmer of hope for the beleaguered film. Director Yan Dimanji's revelation in 2023 that Blade would be R-rated injected a modicum of optimism. "They gave me the R, which is so important," Yan Dimanji remarked, praising Ali's acting depth. He expressed eagerness to explore Blade's latent ferocity, promising a gritty portrayal on screen. Now, my biggest problem with Marvel promising grittiness, right, is that they never actually pull it off, okay? Look at what Echo is. Echo promised to be gritty. Echo was TVMA. It was literally supposed to be a gritty TV show, something that's not like your normal Marvel TV show, and all you got was a little bit of blood when Daredevil got shot by a shotgun. That's basically it. Nothing about that show was gritty. Nothing about that show was dark. So that whole TVMA rating was ridiculous. They only gave it that rating to try to bait and switch people into watching the show thinking that it was going to be something that it's not. This is the same thing in my opinion. I really don't think they're going to do an R-rated Blade. I don't think they're going to do a Blade that's going to give you any sort of like actual super amount of blood or gore or whatever the case is. I just don't think they're going to do that. It's not the Marvel of yesterday. It's the Marvel of today we're still dealing with. It's Disney Marvel. I don't think they have it in them to pull it off, but obviously I could be wrong. I just don't think they do. It says recent rumors align with Yan Dimanji's remarks, shedding light on the film's plot and antagonist. Allegedly, Blade would be the period piece intertwined with the MCU's convoluted lore, focusing on Lilith's scheme to harness Blade's daughter blood to spawn an army of Daywalkers. Mia Goth is rumored to portray Lilith, wielding the enigmatic ebony blade introduced in the Eternals. This speculation suggests a connection to the MCU's broader narrative, though specifics remain uncertain. Marvel Studios' Nate Moore hinted at the ebony blade's significance, linking its properties to vampirism. This thematic resonance implies a deliberate narrative choice, potentially enriching Blade's mythology within the MCU. However, while Blade may deepen ties to the Eternals, Kit Harington's involvement is doubtful, despite his character's association with the Ebony Blade in the post-credit scenes. Now, I don't know why they're technically trying to make Blade tie with the Eternals, because the Eternals is one of the worst movies in MCU history. I don't know if they're trying to do that to try to bolster people's enjoyment or like interest in the Eternals, but I think they should have just, I don't know, man. It's weird because Blade obviously has a lot of history to it. So yeah, they do need to do a little backstory to introduce a character like Blade, because a lot of people are going to question and say, well, where the hell was Blade during the whole Infinity War? Where was he? Why didn't he show up? You know, so I can understand that. But still, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think there's any saving this movie. This movie has gone through development hell. The scripts have been so ridiculous, and the constant mentioning of his daughter is just leading me to believe that she is going to be the focal point. She is going to be the focal point in Blade's Blade's own movie. Don't be surprised if that happens, because it's happened time and time again. Like I said in my last video, they love to pass the mantle down from the male superhero to the female superhero. That's what they're trying to do right now in the MCU. So they're trying to bait and switch people with the male superhero's name, making you watch the TV show or the movie, and then once you actually watch it, you get disappointed when you realize that it's about the female. Look what happened to Hawkeye. Ironheart would be the same thing if Iron Man was still alive. They'll probably still try to find a way to make Iron Man pass the mantle to Ironheart in some fashion or some way. So don't be surprised if this happens with Blade. I have a feeling it's going to, because I'm just hearing this rumor way too much. And even though, again, it's still just a rumor, I'm just hearing it way too much, man. Once you hear something way too much, eventually you start realizing there might be some truth to it. It says Blade's impending MCU debut amidst Phase 5 has generated considerable anticipation, buoyed by Ali's acclaimed talent and Yan's direction. Despite scant details, rumors suggest a return to the R-rated roots of the original films, along with a period setting. The purported plot involving Lilith and Ebony Blade hints at a darker, more nuanced narrative, though Marvel Studios has yet to confirm these details. However, amid the excitement, some fans voice apprehension over Blade's potential departure from established MCU conventions. This introduction of new characters and themes, particularly Blade's daughter and Lilith, raises concerns about the sidelining of original heroes in favor of an array of younger or sex swap or race swap successors. This trend of retconning and trashing classic comic book heroes, evident across the MCU, fuels skepticism about the franchise's future direction. Now, well, let's make one thing very clear. Blade is black right now in the current MCU only because Blade was black originally. If Blade was not black originally, if he was white, they still would have race swapped him to be black right now. I'm just being honest with you. That's number one. So race swaps, they're old already. Like when they do race swaps, I don't even care anymore. It's so old. It's so boring. It's so lacking in creativity. I just don't care to even go out there and make it a big deal anyway at this point. And although a lot of people are going to say, well, we gotta talk about it. I do. I still talk about it. But ultimately, these race swaps are so lazy and they're so garbage. I just don't care. Like if you're that lazy for diversity, if you're that willing to just completely destroy the original character and say, fuck it, I just want to make this about checking off boxes and ESG scores and everything, then go ahead, ruin your movie. I really don't care. Very few movies with race swap characters ever really do well these days. And if they do, it's really few and far between. So if they want to start off that way, you know what? I'd rather they race swap, because you know what happens? That's how you know what kind of movie it's going to be. 9 times out of 10, when there's some lazy race swapping, it's probably going to be garbage, and it gives most of the viewers a heads up that, hey, identity politics has taken precedence over the story in this particular film or TV show. So just keep that aware before you invest your time to either watch the show or the movie. So we'll see what happens in the future with Blade, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't have a lot of faith in it, not because of the whole like woman daughter thing, but just simply because this thing has gone through such development hell that I can't see there being any organization to the script, to the story. I can't see them being able to keep everything in check. I just can't see it. There's so much messiness with this script that I guarantee you the story's going to be rushed. It's going to be convoluted. The entire thing's not going to make any sense. And ultimately, you're just going to get a girl boss movie. That's all you're going to end up with at the end of the day. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.